So y'all don't get to say anything when this face walks into a woman's restroom in Kansas.
Well, Sparkle Farts, all things being equal, you are technically correct. If you follow my precious daughter into a women's room, a changing room, locker room, or anywhere else, the time for talk will have long since passed. And there isn't a law now, nor will there ever be to shield you from the hellish nightmare you will have called down upon yourself.
So I didn't have conservative transphobic bigots using threats of violence to advocate for trans people to use the bathroom that corresponds with their gender identity on my 2023 bingo card. Because that's what you just watched. That bigot doesn't want that trans person in the women's restroom. Interestingly enough, that trans person doesn't want to go into the women's restroom. They want to use the men's restroom because they are a trans man. Meaning the trans man and the violent bigot are in agreement. That person should not be following someone's daughter into a women's restroom. They should be using the men's restroom because they are a trans man. The issue is that bigots are so full of hate that they don't actually understand that what they're advocating for is going to force that trans man to follow their daughter into a women's restroom and use the women's restroom. Because that law that the trans man had up behind them is being pushed by transphobic politicians, not by trans allies. That law would actually implement some of the broadest bathroom restrictions in the nation and force that trans man to use the bathroom of the gender they were assigned at birth. Meaning you will have trans men in the bathroom with your wives and daughters. This is the future that conservative transphobes are asking for. And these bigoted transphobic politicians know that their transphobic base are too stupid to understand what is actually happening. And that's by design, because none of these bathroom bills are actually about protecting women or children. It's about making life impossibly hard for trans people. Because if you make life hard for trans people, you make it so that every time trans people go out in public they are afraid, you are able to remove trans people from the public life and the public eye. Because this bigot and many others who responded to that original video have pointed out it doesn't matter which bathroom trans people use, they will be a target for hate, ridicule, and violence. If that person goes into the men's room and the bigots knew they were trans, they would be mad. If that person goes into the women's room, following the laws that the bigots want, those bigots would be mad. And angry bigots are prone to violence. We know this because, like that video, they tell us that. And this is not an isolated idea. That threat video got over 300,000 likes. 300,000 people agreeing that a trans man should be violently assaulted simply for following the law that transphobic bigots wanted passed in the first place. Laws like this have nothing to do with protecting women and children. It's just one more step on the right's journey to eradicate trans people from public life and then from existence entirely. If we allow it to continue, it will not stop at bathrooms, and it will not stop at trans people.